starts to spin and goes like black with a bunch of colors, and you kind of feel like suddenly you're floating in like a weird jello-y liquid. And while you're floating, you get like wisps of scents that like things you remember, old books, or um like the scent that Artemis sometimes smells like a wet dog when she gets in the rain, or um you get the whiff of like the weird lightning smell that sometimes Soros used to give off, the scent
No.
of Pearl's perfume, the feel of the blanket on your childhood bed, and like you can hear like random things just flying all around you, and all these scents and all these sensations are just starting to like whip around you and consume you. And through it you can make out Nux and Juliet, sort of. You hear a broken conversation. You hear Nux go, "I don't think that's a smart idea." And then you hear Juliet um I'm pretty sure that she has some pieces to the puzzle and we can't leave here without finding them. And then right after that, you are dropped hard, or you found yourself standing in Louis Armstrong Park.
Again?
Yeah, this time you're human, and out of nowhere, Josephine appears before you. And
Memory
she says,
Josephine or construct Josephine?
memory.
Okay.
And she says, "I've been waiting for you for a long time, the promised one." And then you feel her door opens, and you find yourself standing in the foyer of Josephine's home.
The one in
Uh,
England?
yep. You're standing there with a like a piece of artwork in a frame. And Josephine comes into the foyer and says, "Oh, very good. You got the picture that I asked you to steal.
And
Now
one?
don't forget the rest of this little exercise. As being an employee of the museum, I want you to observe what having something so valuable stolen does to the humans there."
Well, as chasing dragon tails go, this doesn't seem too objectionable.
Um, Klaus, her servant man, takes the picture, and as he's taking it, you start to see some static.
All right. If I'm just gonna test this out, I just hand it over without a problem.
While you're as you're handing it over, everything starts to get really staticky. Even him turning around and walking away with the picture is all static.
Okay, I'm gonna try to rewind that, and this time I try to hold on to the painting.
Okay, you try to hold on to the painting, but um, Klaus tries to jerk it away from you, and then it resets back to when you hand him the painting. Okay. So you notice that there is like like static over the whole scene, but where it's super staticky is oddly on the floor when you hand over the painting.
All right, look down. Blood, dirt, a
Are you
body.
trying to like push your way through the static?
Yeah.
Uh, okay. So you're trying really hard to push through this static. You keep rewinding yourself back and back to when you give him the painting and trying to push through the static, looking on the floor. It takes you a few tries to do it, but you finally do break through the static. And as the static breaks away, you hand him the painting, and as you hand him the painting, a bunch of old papers fall out the back. He puts the painting down really quickly and starts gathering them up, and Josephine kind of like kicks him and says, "You idiot." Um, he's getting them really quickly, and Josephine steps in front of you so quickly that the only thing you can see is you see a paper that says something about something called Project Reawakening, and then you see something that says Dragolescu Prophecy. And then
Look up at her.
Josephine, sorry, huh?
Look up at her. So I wasn't
Um,
really stealing a painting.
she just looks at you, and suddenly you can feel your brain starting to go all slack.
Yeah.
Um, and the scene shatters into a bunch of tiny little pieces, and you find yourself standing in the New Orleans cemetery again. You're standing in front of one of the walls that have like the caskets and stuff put in them. And when you look at the grave, you see on the um headstone, I guess. I don't know what you call them when they're in the wall, but it says Rose Hawthorne.
Mausoleum? Plaque?
Black. Yeah, it says Rose Hawthorne. And you hear the bell ringing, and then suddenly you hear the crack of the stone as she breaks out, jumps to the ground, looks around. You and Nux are there, but you're like, you know, the ghosty spirits.
Yeah.
And she takes off down the street. Continue to follow her through the streets as she runs around, confused and scared and hungry. And you see her run into Theo. But what's interesting is when she runs into Theo, for a second, you think you see static, but through her eyes.
Can I fight for her memories too?
You can help her fight for her memories.
Yeah. 7.
When that happens, she turns around and looks at both of you. What the hell is going on?
You got your memory messed with too.
How? I never even met Josephine.
That you remember.
Wait, that's a good point. So, you grab her hand, and you can now see the static through her eyes, and you both try to push through the static. As you're pushing through, um, Theo suddenly changes into Josephine. And the static breaks, and you let go of her hand, and you can see that it's Josephine that she ran into. And Josephine just gently brushes her hand down her cheek and says, "Don't worry, little one. You can be whole again. You just need to pick the help of a kindred. And I know the perfect person to help you. You already know who he is. You're going to choose William Ravelowe to fix you." And then you hear a familiar voice from behind her saying, "I think you better leave." When you all turn around, it's Theo. And Josephine says, "Still trying to meddle where you don't belong? I see you're trying to change people's memories and force them to be your little puppets. Why don't you leave this poor girl alone? Hasn't she been through enough because of you?" Hmm. She looks at Rose. See you soon, dear, and like bops her on the nose condescendingly and then just turns around and walks away. Theo walks up to her, puts like a blanket around her, and he says, "Come on. I'll take you somewhere safe."
I'm gonna look to the others. Where's Juliet?
Rose is like, "No."
Look at Nux.
Oh, fuck. Okay, I can't lie to you, man. Alright. She thinks if she controls the flow, she might be able to find the answers we're looking for a lot faster than letting this construct push us around. She also thought that Rose might have some stuff in her head. Flames consume the entire room, consume you and Nux, and you are suddenly, uh, as the fire dies away, you find yourself standing in the Hissel in Storyville with
Well,
Sam and Nux. Rose is there, but she's like her ghosty anchor self.
well, I didn't miss this.
You're in the Hissel, and Sam is trying to cure a corrupted. Because Sam brought you in here to try to teach you about the Hissel and try to
And
teach you what kindred can do.
in exceptional situations.
Yes.
Effectively teaching us a coil.
Yep. He always taught you coils in his own way. Yep.
So,
All right. So you are in the wound. With Sam, he's teaching you how to try to heal uh, a, a corrupted spirit. And
shit.
he's like holding it in his hand and he's like gently like petting it. And he's like, "You just have to give it some love."
Nux,
Yeah. Nux is just kind of like looking around. Yeah. What?
Nux, if we're here,
Yeah.
and this is a place that Josephine might have messed with.
I don't see any static.
No, but we're here for a reason. If she read this, if she knows about this, then she might be able to learn the coil through me.
You see, like out of the corner of your eye, static by one of the bookcases.
Examine more closely.
So you're trying to push through and you're having a little bit of a problem, but Nux and Rose come over and help. And as you push through the static, you see that there is a woman standing by the bookcase, like an older woman wearing like a floral skirt and a nice button-down shirt with a pearl necklace. She's holding a martini glass and she's standing by the bookcase, like sipping her martini glass.
Human, kindred, ghoul,
Ghost.
ghost.
Um, you turn to make sure that Josephine has left and then walk over to her.
Evening, ma'am.
Well, how do you do?
You, stuck here often?
No, this isn't my usual haunt, but, somebody asked me to help you.
Somebody.
Hmm. I believe you know him as Timmy?
You know Timmy.
Oh, well, I did. I mean, he's gone now. He's finally crossed over, poor boy.
Yeah.
But before he did, he asked me to help, since I'm not a ghost that one is aware of,
Oh.
since I don't typically inhabit this house.
I imagine you'd avoid it given what she can do to you.
Well, she hasn't been able to catch me yet, and considering this is my last time visiting, I don't think she'll catch me.
Plans to cross over after this?
Nope, just not to come back here.
Fair enough. Well,
I
what did
like being
Timmy
a ghost.
far be it from me to stop you.
Anyway,
So, what did Timmy have in mind?
there are some papers he wanted you to find. Can you close the door? Actually, she just kind of nods at it and it gently shuts. Okay, she steps back and examines the bookcase. Can you please pull that red book for me? You pull it and the bookcase moves forward and then shifts over.
Awesome.
Which leads you to a door that has a code. I believe the code is 5923. When you open it, a green light pops, and then you can pull the handle and open up the door. You walk into a room that just has like a table and a chair, nothing else. She walks over to like the left side. The walls are made of like stones. Push that one. You push it, and it slides backwards and over. And as soon as you step through it, a room lights up, and it's not a very big room. It's like a square room, 5 feet on each side. But there's like file cabinets all along every wall. She walks over to a specific file cabinet, and she like goes like this, and the drawer opens. And then she like lifts out a file for you to see. Well, better get going. Good luck.
Thank you.
She walks through a wall and she's gone. The notes that you're looking through,
Well, this is a memory. I'll follow the flow.
yes. So the notes you're looking through, you see up scrawled on just like a piece of torn paper, a descendant. Oh, no, I can't read my hand. Ah, okay. A descendant will become the unliving embodiment of the world's quiet undead. And then you see something else scrawled on another piece of paper that says like um possible steps for chosen vessel, uh learn how to see ghosts, create a ghost, have to connect to the world unseen, bring someone back from the dead, and must be reincarnated, question mark. And then as you're flipping the page, you see like a notebook stuck in the file cabinet, and when you take it out, it's like one of those like scientific journals. On the cover it says Project Reawakening. And as you go to open it, you hear, well, someone's been snooping around, haven't they?